Hey everybody, I'm Andrew Mefferd. I'm the editor of Growing from Market magazine, and we're here on our farm in central Maine by our compost pile, and we've got this tarp here. I think this is about 1/8 of an acre. This is a field that we grew vegetables on a number of years ago and haven't grown anything on it for a couple of years, and we're trying to reclaim it and put it back into veg. So we thought the easiest way to do that would be just to tarp it down and to kill all the vegetation. So we put this tarp down last fall before the snow flew. I haven't looked under there other than the tarp blew off a little bit over the winter, and when I had to re-situate it, it looked like it was doing a really good job because this was sod, had gone back to sod just like the rest of this field. And with any luck, what I want to see when we pull this tarp off is no vegetation. So ideally, not only is the vegetation dead, but all the worms and all the soil life has come up and eaten it over the winter. So I'm gonna pull it back because I really do need to get to planting it, and I haven't looked at it yet. So now you get to look at it with me. I'm really happy with the way that this field turned out. In the center where it's been tarped all winter long, you can see there's hardly anything growing. And even though it's not completely bare soil, the 5 or 6 months under a tarp has killed most of what's there. You can see the biggest problem we had with this field was just blowing off from time to time. You can see all this yellow grass at the front corner, because we were getting a wind from this angle and it blew the corner back. But the rest of this field, the fact that we don't have this going on the rest of the field makes me really happy. In fact, almost the only things that you can see here, there's a couple things sprouting up. It's really only 2 things. So this is blanched burdock. So those of you who are familiar with burdock know it's a really tenacious, deeply rooted perennial that's hard to kill. And so those of you who have done tarping, you probably already know this, that deeply rooted perennials are the bane of tarping, because a lot of them have enough energy that they can survive for 5 or 6 months under a tarp. And so this burdock, at least, it's really easy to see because it's pretty much the only thing growing out there. And so what we'll probably do is just hand dig this before we try to plant this field. And the only other main thing that I'm seeing coming up here, I don't know if anybody can recognize this, but this is garlic. Because one of the last crops that we had in this field was garlic. And so we had garlic volunteers for years. We would see it growing out in the grass here. And so once again, garlic is a plant that has a fair amount of energy down there in the clove, and so you'll see a few of the little blanched yellow plants that you see out there are actually garlic volunteers from years ago, the last time we grew garlic out here. So this is great. I think we're gonna do some videos over the coming weeks of what we're doing with actually planting this field in a no-till method without having to plow it up, because we've already killed off the vegetation for the most part, and now we got all this beautiful compost over here that we're gonna be able to plant this field without tilling it.